insightful programs, insightful titles where people will listen and get entertained and learn something to take home. In today's episode, we'll be diving into the latest HSSC news, which I am to give you. And you know very well that you can't be too, sure that you are safe. And for that, we need to be giving you that kind of enlightenment, a kind of reminder on what to do and what not to do as it regards to health, safety, and security. As we are going on with this program today, you will be listening to our meeting with dignitaries, which is one of the good segment we have in this program. And we are having another big fish on the studio who you will want to, talk with. And I want to believe that with his presence here, he's going to clear the air about some gimmicks, some rhetorics about fire safety operations. And I am not ready to let the cat out of the bag yet. So you need to listen, you need to follow, and you get to have the best of today's episode. Thank you very much for being with us. We have Safeshere Connect. Yeah, but we just know that for the tradition, I will start our program. We give you the moralities of life. And this time around, somebody will be wondering why we're going to be presenting something about life and death. Most times you see people, driving from one place to another, road rage here and there. I just want to quickly tell us that something happened along the way. A few days ago, I saw somebody, he was coming out of the car and somebody stopped behind him and said, "Hey, you have not paid me my money." And before you know it, what caused that fight? Just 50 naira. We had to settle such people. The driver was too aggressive, the passenger too aggressive, so nobody was ready to let go. And as a result of that, there was a big fight, and when we later investigated, it was just because of 50 naira. Oh, what a rage. Many of those things are happening here and there, and then we are yet to educate you, to let you know that no, there's needless reasons to fight over such kind of insignificant amount of money. Not even a bigger money. Even if it's a bigger money, you need to tamper justice with mercy by being so cool about it. There's always a way to go about it and settle it without being confrontational. That is that. And then when we talk about safety, we talk about fire safety. Do you know that every day, no day without fire service turning out their fire engine to go and fight fire? Just because it has not happened in your house does not mean there is no fire outbreak out there. So you need to take good care of your homes. So one of the things we're going to be learning today is that, but I'm trying to make it so quick. And like I said, the reflection on life and death as Siamese twins. And that is what I'm going to present right now. Yes, as I said earlier, the reflection on life and death as Siamese twins. This draws attention to the inevitable journey every living being must take. It highlights the certainty of death, regardless of its form, whether sudden, gradual, or in between. This understanding encourages us to reflect on the moralities of life and the importance of living purposefully. Moralities of life is one of our segments, and that's where we're emphasizing on this. Life is fleeting, and the unpredictability of death should remind us to live with integrity, kindness, and responsibility. The suddenness of death reminds us that we must always be prepared, not just in terms of material affairs, but also in how we treat others and how we nurture our spiritual and moral values. A life lived in service to others with empathy and justice leaves a lasting impact, even if death comes unexpectedly. On the other hand, a gradual approach to death, where one is aware of the end but unable to stop it, teaches patience and humility. It reminds us to use our time wisely, to make amends, share love, and leave a legacy of goodness. This variant allows for self-reflection and gives one the chance to ensure their actions and relationships are in order, promoting generosity, forgiveness, and righteousness. The third variant, where there is uncertainty, mirrors the unpredictability of life. It encourages hope, yet also teaches us not to take time for granted. It is a call to live in the present, doing what is right and beneficial while we still can, knowing that every moment could be pivotal. The message is clear. Time is the most precious asset we have. We should strive to use it for good. Act with kindness, show compassion, and uphold moral values. Whether through sudden or gradual departure, what matters most is how well we live and the goodness we leave behind. Do you want to hear more of this from us? Please call or drop a message or WhatsApp 080-9822-5545. I repeat, 080-9822-5545. Thank you for listening to this segment of Moralities of Life, and we will be introducing our dignitaries in a short while. Segment of meeting with the dignitaries, and like I said before, today we are honored to have a special guest in the studio, an individual whose dedication to public safety and operational excellence in fire management is truly inspiring. Our guest is Engineer Abioye Shina. You're welcome, sir, to the studio.
Thank you for having me on your platform.
Thank you. Engineer Shina Abioye is a seasoned expert with years of experience in fire safety, emergency response, and fire service operations. He has played a crucial role in enhancing the operational capacity of the FCT Fire Service, ensuring that the service remains proactive and responsive to emergencies. His leadership in coordinating firefighting efforts across the FCT has, been a pivotal role he has played, and it has touched people by protecting lives and property. Today, he joins us to share insight into the challenges and successes of the fire service and how they work tirelessly to keep us safe. So, listeners, I want you all to join me to welcome Engineer Shina Abioye, who is a leader in the fire service operation of FCT Fire Service. Welcome once again, sir.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, I will be opening the telephone lines in which you can engage him after the first question. And what the question I want to ask you, sir, Engineer Abioye, can you walk us through the key responsibility of the operations unit in the FCT Fire Service and how you ensure effective coordination during emergencies?
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, residents of Abuja. Good afternoon, fellow Nigerians. My name is Engineer Abioye, as has been announced. I'm the head of operation FCT Fire Service. When we talk about the operation segment, operation, just like every operation, render services of any organization that is rendering services of likewise, is that they have some units that help so that the activities of the operation services can be always successful. when we talk about the operation outfit in fire service, we have the control room that receives the call. They are the first point of call when there are distresses or distress call. From there, the message is escalated to the crew that will respond to the disaster, whether fire or any other emergency as it may be. Another unit that is working with the operation is the workshop. Since we deal with equipment, we need to have technical people that will support the workforce so that we can, at the end of the day, have a better and successful response when they are called for emergency. So that's how the operation outfit of the fire service works.
Oh, that's very good. So that means that your operation is not limited to just fighting the fire, but also about how the equipment of the fire will be maintained. I mean, fighting the fire will be maintained.
Yeah, thank you.
Right. Thank you so much. So what are some of the most significant operational challenges your team faces when responding to fire incidents, and how have you overcome them in recent times?
Yeah, when you talk about operations in firefighting, there are enormous challenges, but to mention few out of it, there are some that are part of that are technical. That's something that has to do with the equipment. There are human factors in terms of the crew, getting the right type of crew to respond to fire. There are the what we call the community factors too. For instance, there are areas where we response to fire, and we have faced with the challenge of mob action, when the people within that locality will want to obstruct the aspect of having to carry out our own responsibility. And apart from that, equipment too are something that we need to look at. In these modern days, it is expected that response should be with equipment that will help to salvage issues. But presently in the FCT, we thank God for what the Minister of the FCT is doing to help and mobilize us with right equipment, but we still need more.
All right, thank you very much. Listeners, you can see that he is doing justice to the topic of the day, and I want you to join us by engaging him. You may have some challenges within your area that you want him to know, because he's in the studio now, and we shouldn't allow him to go, because this is the period to hear your view as well, to contribute to this particular discussion. 09087668888, that is the number you call. I'll repeat, 09087668888. Another number you can call is 09073530044. 09073530044. While I wait for your call, given the increasing complexity, Engineer Bioye, of urban development in Abuja, what operational strategies does the FCT Fire Service employ to stay ahead of potential fire risks in densely populated or high-risk areas?
Thank you very much. The strategies engage to douse the aspect of increase in fire outbreak in the FCT. One of it is that we engage what we call prevention aspect. It is better say that prevention is better than cure.
Oh, good.
So there is a unit of the fire service that is saddled with the responsibility called Fire Prevention and Protection Unit. Their duty is to assist in the aspect of having to create awareness and sensitization. When the unit works effectively, the tendency is that the number of fire outbreak simultaneously must reduce, and that is one of the strategy. Apart from that is that as we approach this dry season period, there are a lot of programs that the FCT Fire Service as a whole is planning so that we can have a lesser fire outbreak in this season. One of it is what we call dry season campaign that we take to all the communities within the FCT. We make sure that we go to areas where people needed to be spoken to, so that at least with the knowledge they will be able to avoid the aspect of a fire outbreak. This has been very, very effective in the past, and we believe that engaging it even further in this time will help us to reduce the fire outbreaks.
All right, thank you very much. I think you said you can join us 09087668888, 09073530044. You can join us anytime now, because we don't want this man to leave here with a lot of questions in your mind, which you can really ask now, and he will solve them for us. And if I may ask, part of the communities you said earlier, are we saying the communities in the urban centers, or it also involve rural areas?
All right. One beauty about the FCT is that eggs that are brilliant eggs are pulled together to make sure that the service is having results and result oriented, and that's take us to the aspect of how the aspect of coverage. In the FCT, we have about 15 functional fire stations within the metropolis, and we have one each at every area council. The decision behind this is that response timing is very, very key, and that means that if there are fire outbreaks within the rural, that is areas where we call area councils, we should be able to respond. So as we speak, we have a functional fire station in Abaji, we have another one in Kwali, we have another one in Kuje, we have another one in Gwagwalada, we have in Suba, and the Karo aspect, we have another one in Karo. So with that, we believe that we should be able to move at a speed to cover any areas where there are distress calls, apart from the 15 stations that I've enumerated that are within the city.
No. That's very good. And then that means that if there's any distress call around these areas, your men are at alert to respond so quickly. I think we are glad we have you in FCT, and I want to believe that the Honorable Minister will do more about the equipment, so that you have the new way of fighting fire. So if I may also ask, please, are there any new technologies that are in vogue now that a firefighter can really employ or use, or maybe as residents can install in their houses for effective firefighting or for alert sake? Meaning it should be able to alert them when there's any eventuality.
Thank you. We rely on calls for us to respond to fire. As I used to talk to people, we are not omnipresent that we will be able to know that fire is happening in a particular place, except people called us. And that brings me to your question. one of the things that could aid and help is what we call in disaster terms early warning. In homes, there should be some gadgets that could help to notify the occupants that there are fire outbreaks, whether you are in or you are out, whether in the night or in the day. And that is why we always advocate that every organization, institution, private homes should have what we call an alarming system. When you have a network of an alarm system, whether conventional or addressable, it helps to create the kind of awareness to notify people should in case of any fire outbreak within the premises, whether in the night or in the day. Now, with that, it is very easy for us in the fire service at our station to be called if there are connectivity, and that is one of the technology that we are trying to bring up in the FCT. A technology where you don't need to call. These are part of the thing that is available in the developed countries, where if you have a fire outbreak in your premises, the fire service are alerted of your place based on connectivity, like what we have inside the phone. You have a SIM card that is connecting other people. So in our place now, we have a functional reception system that if there are fire outbreaks in any place and one is connected to it, you can call us without having to start looking for phone numbers. And that is the technology we are trying to buy into the FCT. It is our hope that as time progresses, this technology can be activated so that the people of the public, they will benefit very well from it, even though it is on in as a test run at our own level now. But we are hopeful that very soon that kind of technology will be embraced by all the residents of the FCT. And again, you said something about challenges the other time. Sometimes when I meet with people, some people will tell you, when we call your fire service, you always come with empty water. And I used to tell them, in this modern age, it is permit me to use the word, it is suicidal that you take your equipment, you go to a fire ground, and you said there is no water. To even overcome that kind of issue of water, what we do is that we have a tanker loaded with water to always respond with our appliances to every fire scene. It is expected as part of the road infrastructure within any developed environment that we have functional fire hydrants that are strategic positions that fire service can be made use. But in the event of where we don't have fire hydrants to support. So what we do to overcome that is that every fire appliance that is going out, we make sure that we back up the appliance with a tanker of probably nothing less than 10,000 liters of water to follow up.
Wow. That is huge.
And that has been of great help. So I always say to people, you cannot say it as an excuse that fire service came for firefighting and there is no water.
All right. So that's the rhetoric. It's no longer something
it's not in vogue
anymore.
It's not in vogue.
Thank you very much, Engineer Bioye, who is also Deputy Controller and the head of operations of FCT Fire Service. I will not let you go yet, but I think we will be back soon.
Hello everyone, This is a special invitation to tune in to Eagles 102.3 FM for the Safeshere Connect program with Town Planner Ibrahim MT, the safety doctor. If you are looking for more information and guidance on the morality of life, health, safety, security, and the environment, then this is the show for you. Join us every Tuesday from 4:30 to 5:30 p.m. for an hour of insightful discussions, expert interviews, and engaging segments that will keep you informed and safe. Don't miss out. Mark your calendars and make sure to tune in to Eagles 102.3 FM. Stay safe, stay informed, and connect with Safeshere Connect.
Listen up, FCT, it's time to take a stand. Fire safety is in your hands. Across this great land, Engineer Zacchaeus has a plan. Hear what he has to say. Be cautious, be prepared, and keep those fire away.
FCT Fire Service, we are here for you. With Engineer Zacchaeus, we will see it through. In emergencies, please don't delay. Dial 0209 290 6118. That is 0209 290 6118 or 0814 646 3440 or 0814 646 3440 today.
Remember, prevention is better than cure. Together, we will make our homes secure. Stay alert, don't be caught unaware. Fire safety is a must. Handle with care.
FCT Fire Service, we are here for you. With Engineer Zacchaeus, we will see it through. In emergencies, please don't delay. Dial 0209 290 6118. That is 0209 290 6118 or 0814 646 3440 or 0814 646 3440 today.
FCT, stay fire free. Safety for you and me. FCT Fire Service cares. This message is from the Fire Prevention and Protection Unit of FCT Fire Service. The FCT Fire Service, under the leadership of Engineer Adebayo Amiola Zacchaeus, urges residents to prioritize fire safety, keep flammable materials away from any heat sources, and always focus when cooking. Never divide your attention. Avoid overloading electrical appliances, and if you notice any irregularities, take immediate action. Exercise caution with bush burning and report any concerns to the fire service at 0209 290 6118. That is 0209 290 6118 or 0814 646 3440. That is 0814 646 3440. Remember, prevention is always better than cure. Equip your homes with essential fire safety devices such as fire extinguishers, smoke detectors, and fire blankets. This message is from the Public Relations and Enlightenment Unit of FCT Fire Service.
Discover Nibro Varieties, your online one-stop shop specializing in a wide range of products, especially for women. From elegant Turkish gowns, Egyptian bracelets, and Pakistani hijabs to Nigerian ashokes, kitchen utensils, blenders, and all your household needs. Nibro Varieties has it all, delivering quality goods right to their doorsteps, even without meeting them in person. We are committed to serving you. For your orders, please WhatsApp 08060857288 or call 08060857288. That is 08060857288. We also extend our heartfelt thanks to our loyal customers for their continuous patronage. Shop with Nibro Varieties today, where convenience meets quality.
Safeshere Connect.
Yes, listeners, you're welcome back to this show. You're on Safeshere Connect 102.3 FM, and we are here with Engineer Shina Abioye, the head of operation of FCT Fire Service. Before the calls start coming in, we want to also ask you, Engineer Abioye, how does the FCT Fire Service ensure continuous training and readiness of its personnel to adapt to new firefighting technologies and techniques?
Thank you, Mr. Tawed. Firefighting requires physical fitness, and that means our crew, they should be physically fit. And one of the things that we engage to achieve that is that we carry out refresher trainings for our personnel. Most often it is internal training, so that they can be up and doing when it comes to rendering their services. So it is important that we keep ourselves very fit. That's number one. Number two, because firefighting too, it is technical, and we need knowledge about how to respond. Part of the thing again that we do is what we call weekly briefing. We do weekly briefing to analyze the last fire that we attended, and keep abreast our personnel on the techniques that they need to use in fighting other fires, and that is done internally too. Apart from that, we engage our personnel in educational training that will help them to develop themselves, and we give this to the FCT that always allows our staff, even though if they need to go on their own personal development, they are well supported. Okay. And those are the areas where we'll make sure that we have continuous manpower development to keep abreast with the latest need of how to respond to fire. And this has been helping. However, it is our candid plea that the fire service, fire service is conventional. It's not something that is limited to a sphere of the community, not limited to Nigeria. It is worldwide. Fire happens everywhere. So sometimes it is important if we allow what we call an exchange program, where we expose our personnel to foreign and educative aspects that will help them. That will help them.
I was about to ask that as well.
That will help them. Okay. So it's our plea, even presently, that the Honorable Minister of FCT, we deem it fit to allow some of our senior people that will do that, so that when they come, they can retrain some of the junior ones for the betterment of the service.
Oh, that's good.
The service.
So, in your experience now, what role do community engagement and public awareness play in fire prevention, and how do you operationalize these strategies to reduce fire outbreaks?
Yeah. Fire does not exist in isolation. It exists within an environment, in a community, because fire mostly will occur as a result of certain effects. It might be as a result of carelessness. So somebody must be the one that will have been careless to allow certain things to happen. So one of the things that we do, as I've said earlier, is to carry the sensitization to the public. We have, in fact, apart from firefighting, the next unit that is very, very proactive in firefighting and fire service is the prevention unit. So the duty is that we have a unit that goes out on every day, meeting with institutions, meeting with people, engaging with different community to help to enlighten them on what to do and what not to do to prevent fire outbreak. For instance, some few weeks now, we had a stakeholder meeting with executive of markets that are that are relating with Abuja Market Management Limited. We had a section with them, trying to tell them what they need to do, which the acting director, Engineer Sakios, roll out some marshal points for them to observe, considering what happened in the Karo Fire incident, that we need to make sure that there are access to such places. There should be no sleeping in the market or even cooking in the market. Those things that could generate fire outbreak and make the people to suffer consequences that is not expected even at this time where things are very, very good, not to say the otherwise.
Anyway, you just mentioned something about Karu Market, and we also had the incident of Kaura Market and all this. And this market that you just mentioned now, in fact, it's what is going to encourage me to ask one more further question that has to relate with markets. And the market fires have been a significant concern in the FCT. So causing severe damage to businesses and local economies. What specific assistance or support does the FCT fire service require from the FCTA? I'm very, very specific now. From the FCTA to enhance its capacity to prevent and respond to market fires more efficiently.
Thank you. You've asked a very lovely question, and it is very, very important. Modern firefighting and fire service is not what we will call a civic approach completely. It requires the adoption of certain technological backup that will aid in firefighting. For instance, I have always said to people that firefighting considers the materials that you use in building. Firefighting considers everything that has to do with the designs of the building. Firefighting considers what we talked about, means of egress, access routes or access ways for evacuation. And all these are part of the thing that is required when you are constructing a marketplace. Many of the time, what we have seen is that markets are designed, awarded, developed without the inputs of fire service. And countless times it has become an issue. When you talk about it, many people will tell you, what is the work of fire service in looking at plans? But when issues arise, the fire service will always be the one at the receiving end. For instance, the entrance gate to a particular place is expected to have certain dimension that will allow easy flow and easy movement of our fire truck. Our fire trucks, some are 5.5 meters high with a width of almost 3.3 meters. If you design your gate and you do not consider this particular aspect of it, on the day there will be fire, it will be very difficult for fire people to come to the aid on time. And people will begin to talk, they came, they cannot maneuver themselves. You have come to rescue, you have come to salvage, you have not come to destroy the government property that is in your care. And those are part of the things that needed to be considered when you are making development. For emphasis, what happens, I was in that particular place you mentioned, the Karo fire. I was physically present there. we have to be laying hose of almost 5-6 lengths of hose. Individual length of hose is almost about 35 meters. So if you are laying 35 meters times 7 or 5, you should understand that the pressure you'll be getting at the end will have been reduced because of the conveyance. So now, what we are trying to say is that if you are designing, you must consider the day of hazard like this. Create a place, create a way where people, fire service, and other people that will come to rescue or to avert situation like this should be able to access the place. But if you design without consideration and you think everything is about aesthetics, then we will suffer this kind of issue. And that is why when we see people developing structures, we have a team that used to visit them. They will give them a letter. We want to see your design plan. We want to see what and what you have in stock, such that if there are issues of fire, we should be able to access the place. I give an instance. There was a fire outbreak somewhere in area 11 in Gimbia. The fire started probably from the generator place, and the people, because of the largeness of the fire, the people in that particular organization, they ran outside, but they are running outside to take over the road. Now, you've not provided a place where we call muster point for your staff, but instead your staff, they've run to the road and they are constituting another problem to the road user. So it becomes an issue. So those are the things that you need to consider when you are developing plans. You must make sure fire is something that does not happen frequently. But the most devastating part of it is that when it happens, it causes enormous damages. And that is why designing, it is critical that fire service should have input. I have always advocated to people, we have the expertise, we have people in the fire service. When you are designing, approach any station. If the person at that particular station does not have that kind of skill, it will refer you to other stations or the headquarters, especially the FCT. We have our headquarters in Asokoro. We'll come to the place, we look at your plan, we can advise you. Don't put this, do this, expand this. This will aid you. It is not for the fire service alone. It is to make sure that in the event of issues that is going to happen, the fire service will be able to salvage the property. And let me tell you, people might not understand. When fire occurs and there is no help in the next 3 minutes, it becomes hopeless. And that is why I always tell the people, you have a vehicle that you purchase maybe for 20 million naira, you cannot have a functional fire extinguisher. And you are expecting that the fire will engulf the vehicle in the middle of the road, you call fire service. Look at the position of the fire service station to where your vehicle is having issue and count. Will the fire service arrive at that place in less than 3 minutes?
No.
Anything that is outside 3 minutes, 4 minutes, 5 minutes, is becoming hopeless. So it is important that every vehicle should have a functional fire service. You can be doing something when the fire service are on the way. It will salvage the issue. But for you to rely on the self-help, many people will say, no, it will not happen. It will not happen. It's not a solution.
It's not a solution at all.
It will not happen. It's not a solution. So we need to do something.
So a functional fire extinguisher will
always have. Apart from inside the vehicle, there is what we call domestic fire, which includes the kitchen in the homes, the residential buildings. They are categorized as part of domestic fire. So it is expected that, just like is part of your at the interlude when you are having your the adverts, you were saying something about don't cook when you are tired.
Yes, exactly.
Don't start any fire when you know that you are not in the right mind to continue your cooking. So it is important that when you want to engage in cooking, you make sure that your gas, some people cannot smell gas, but it is important that you take note of all these things. Gas fire, as regards to domestic, is very, very deadly, because gas in science is less denser than air, so it moves in the atmosphere. So when gas is discharged into the atmosphere and you spark, or there is any spark of lighting from any source within the vicinity, it will engulf. And when it engulfs, it depends on where the person is at that time. You might find out that the people will even suffer the consequence. So it's important, even before you cook, you take note of the leakage of gas. There's this thing in science or in engineering that you say, don't start any equipment that you cannot control.
That's very good.
You want to operate your any equipment. The first thing is that, is this equipment, is it in the right state of work? Can I control it? If not, you should be able to know what to do. Again, domestic fire, we are advised that people should not put their gas cylinder inside the kitchen.
That's very good.
Why should we educate people on this aspect? Is that if there's any fire break within the vicinity of the kitchen or anywhere, the first thing you do, you escape outside to protect yourself. And since the cylinder is outside, what you do is to go to where the supply is, then shut the supply. Then you can now address the fire with any available means that you can use. But if the cylinder is within where the fire is burning and you escaped outside, that means you have only escaped and you have allowed the problem to continue. So it is important. So one of the things is that we advise people, get a functional fire extinguisher in the homes, and in the kitchen get what we call fire blanket. It's important. People will say, how will I use my money to buy something? But the day the thing will happen,
you use your money to replace them.
You use your money to replace them.
That's a very good one. Honestly, if we want to continue with this professional firefighter, we will take the whole day. And in fact, I even lost track. I never knew that I was supposed to stop you at a point and play some other adverts. But we know we have gained a lot from today's episode, and I want to believe that we have learned that kitchen fire is also deadly, car fire is deadly, and we also learned that most of these fires they do start small, but after 3 minutes or so, they are described to be a very large fire. So in that case, fire extinguisher is essential. Listeners, we have done you a great favor by bringing this man, Engineer Abioye Shina, Head of Operation FCT Fire Service. Please, if there's a fire and people want to reach you, I think the other advert we played, there was this number wheeled out. So please, can you please remind the listeners on the number to call in FCT, especially if there's any fire outbreak?
Yeah, our main control room number, which I will advise you, if the listeners, that you save on your phone immediately. I don't advocate people writing the number down, because when there are issues, you might not even remember where you've penned it down. So I love people to save it in their phone. You can save it AA Fire. That will make it to be one of the first item on your phone boot. So AA Fire. Then the number is 02 29 0209 0209 290 6118. I repeat it. 0209 290 02096118.
Please, I want you to repeat it once again.
0209290618.
Yes, that's good. That is the hotline. Okay, is there another number you want to give?
I want to advise that it is important that we do not allow fire to occur. And how do we do this? Is by being sensitive to the aspect of fire. I always say it, if you allow what we call fire outbreak, a life can be lost, property will be destroyed, means of livelihood, that is a business, can be destroyed completely, and the capital could go with it. So it is important that to avoid this kind of scenario, we should not allow fire outbreak. And again, in the FCT, our coverage is so big that if we can receive the call on time, we should be able to respond. And that is why it is important for us to always roll out our phone numbers for you to save. Most often when there are fire outbreaks, it is mostly the sympathizers or neighbors that used to call us. And the more you delay in calling, the more problematic the fire will become. That is why we need urgent and emergency information to our control room for us to move out immediately. Gone are the time where people will call fire service and people will say they said there is no fuel. The FCT administration, with the pleasures of the Honorable Minister, they always make sure that what we need in terms of fueling are provided. And that means we on our own part, we do not have any excuse. But the only thing is that we rely on your prompt calling. You need to call us on time. A delay in time calling means an aggravated fire before we reach the scene. I said to some people when I'm giving lectures too, if you call fire service and you delay, look at the station, look at the scene of the fire and count the number of bottlenecks in terms of road network where they need to travel with. If there are areas where we call traffics, it means further delay. That's why we expect prompt call for us to respond on time. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Engineer Deputy Controller Abioye Shina. We really thank you for coming today, and I want to, say thank you so much for enlightening us today. Listeners, I want you to place in your own private homes, offices, residences, everywhere, factory, please make sure fire doesn't occur. And when it occurs, eventually, please call 0209 290 6118. Again, 0209 290 6118. And when you call this number, you should be able to wait and let the fire service do their work. There was a time somebody was also using, a kind of, obstructing the firefighting. And do not mobilize yourself against firefighters. They are not for you to fight. Let them carry out their operation. And I also want to let you know that firefighting is free. The FCT fire service and other fire services don't collect a dime after firefighting. So do not, think they are coming. If you call them, they will come and collect some money from you for extinguishing the fire in your premises. No, that is not true. So as a result of that, we want you to understand that firefighting is free. Now, if you look at the episode of today, you will know that there are other segments we did not touch, Kiddies Corner, and some other segments. We are going to be giving you or bringing you those segments next week by the grace of God. So I want to say, this is the much you can take about this episode of today. This is your own Connect, Safeshere Connect. So please, we'll be looking forward to connect with you next week on Safeshere Connect on Eagles 102.3 FM. My name is Ibrahim MT, your safety doctor. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. This